Como estamos hoje? Me aumentei só para depois diminuir, né? Tudo certo? Vamos lá, depois de 2 semanas, né, sem aula, porque tivemos o feriado, aí depois tivemos a semana de revisão, e agora vamos voltar, então, para o nosso livro, para as nossas discussões. A aula de hoje vai estar falando sobre sleeping problems, abilities, not ability. Ai, gente, eu e esse bubble, né? Um dia, quem sabe. Aqui, vamos lá. Ó, tô quase, vocês viram que eu tô quase. Agora sim, vamos lá. Então a gente vai estar falando um pouquinho sobre o tema da universidade, the theme. Oh my goodness, this language. The theme of the unit is going to be talking about sleeping problems and how we deal with it or not, okay? So to start, we are going to do the listening and the grammar part for now, okay? So you are going to listen to 3 people who have problems sleeping at night. Listen and take notes on what their problem is and what has caused it, okay? You're going to take notes for speaker 1, speaker 2, and speaker 3. Remember, if you need to listen to it again, okay, if you need to listen to it again, you can go back. I'm not going to play it twice, so it doesn't, we don't have like a super long video, okay? Just before we start, I just want you to start thinking about this question. Do you have any sleeping problems? Why or why not? Okay? Well, why not? Because I sleep well. But if you do, sometimes you feel you don't sleep well. For example, when I'm too anxious about something, I do not sleep well. I dream all night. It's terrible, but I need to be super anxious. Otherwise, I do sleep perfectly well. What about you? How is that with you guys? Now let's go. Opa, I need to play.
3.40. 1. Why do you have problems sleeping?
Well, I'm Spanish, but I moved to London a few years ago when I married a British woman.
Mm-hmm.
I've been living here for 3 years now. I have a lot of problems getting to sleep at night because our bedroom just isn't dark enough. I can't get used to sleeping in a bedroom where there's light coming in from the streetlights outside. In Spain, I always used to sleep in complete darkness because my bedroom window had blinds, and when I went to bed, I used to close the blinds completely.
Mm-hmm.
But here in England, our bedroom window just has curtains, and curtains don't block out the light properly.
No.
It takes me a long time to get to sleep at night, and I always wake up more often than I used to do in Spain.
So why don't you just get thicker curtains?
Because my wife doesn't like sleeping in a completely dark room. She says that she feels claustrophobic if the room is too dark.
Yes, a lot of people do feel like that.
Okay, guys, were you able to understand everything? Super easy, super calm, right? So what is the problem with speaker number 1? What do you think? Why is it difficult for him to not sleep well? It's because the bedroom isn't dark enough, correct? Do you remember? And then he mentions that in London they only have curtains, which doesn't block, and that his wife doesn't like to sleep in complete darkness as well, right? Let's see number 2. What is the problem? Let me close myself here.
3.41. 2. What?
Sorry, guys. the program closed unexpectedly. Okay, let's continue.
2. Why do you have problems sleeping?
Well, I'm a policeman, and so I have to do shift work, which means I work at night every other week. So I start work at 10 o'clock at night and finish at 6 in the morning the following day. The main problem is that my body's used to sleeping at night, not during the day. So it's very hard to get used to being awake all night and trying to work and concentrate when your body is just telling you to go to bed.
But isn't it something you get used to?
Actually, no. Because I work during the day for 1 week and then the next week I work at night, which means that just when my body has got used to being awake at night, then I go back to working in the day, and then of course I can't get to sleep at night because my body thinks it's going to have to work all night. The other problem is that when I get home after working a night shift, everyone else is just starting to wake up. So that means that it can be really noisy. The neighbours put on the radio, bang doors and shout to wake their children up. So even though I'm really tired, it's just very hard to get to sleep.
How many hours do you usually sleep?
Before I became a policeman, I used to sleep about 8 or 9 hours a night. But I think now I probably don't sleep more than 6 hours.
Okay, so what is the problem with him? Guys, he says he's a policeman and he has different work schedules, right? Every other week he works at night. So his problem is his work schedule, right? Would you say that? The problem is his work schedule? 1 week he works at night, 1 week he works during the day, so his body doesn't get used to all of these changes, right? Very good. Let's do number 3.
3.42. 3. Why do you have problems sleeping?
I have a lot of problems sleeping because of jet lag. I have to travel a lot in my job and I take a lot of long-haul flights. I fly to New York quite often and I arrive maybe at 6 in the evening my time, but when it's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon in New York. So at 5 in the afternoon local time, I'll be feeling tired and ready for bed because it's my bedtime. But I can't go to sleep because I'm probably still working or having dinner with my American colleagues.
Right.
Then when I do finally get to bed at, say, midnight local time, I find that I wake up in the middle of the night because my body thinks that it's morning because it's still working on UK time.
And can you get back to sleep when you wake up?
No, that's the problem. I can't get back to sleep. And then the next day when I have meetings, I feel really sleepy. It's very hard to stay awake all day. And just when I'm finally used to being on New York time, then it's time to fly home. And flying west to east is even worse.
Oh, why is that?
Well, because when I get off the plane, it's early morning in the UK. But for me, on New York time, it's the middle of the night. It takes me 4 or 5 days to recover from one of these trips.
Gosh, that must be really difficult for you.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, you guys, which notes did you take in relation to speaker number 3? What happens to her? She travels a lot for work, right? So, because she travels a lot for work, she is often jet lag, right? She suffers, não é jet lag, correct? This is correct. No, I don't know why. Questions, guys? Was it easy? Okay to understand? Very simple, né? Look, this we're going to discuss during our class. Do you usually sleep with your bedroom completely dark or with the curtains or blinds open? Do you have problems sleeping if there is too much or not enough light for you? Can you sleep? Have you ever worked at night? Did you have any problems in sleeping the next day? Why or why not, in your opinion? Do you think you would be able to work at night and sleep during the day? This is our case, right? Or maybe we can think like, did you ever have to go overnight studying and then did you feel tired and did you lose sleep? Because you do not work yet, right? But the second part we can talk about, if you consider you would be able to do that. And have you ever flown long haul? Where to? Did you get jet lag? And did you get jet lag? There we go. How long did it take you to get over it? That's something I do not have. I get to the place and yay, let's do this. Guys, look at our grammar point this week. We have here 3 sentences that were taken from the audio. So look, in Spain, I always used to sleep in complete darkness. It's very hard to get used to being awake all night. And just when I'm finally used to being on New York time, then it's time to fly home. 1. I usually did this in the past. Which sentence relates to the past here? We know that it's number 1, right? Because the guy was living in Spain, but now he lives in London. So when he lived in Spain, this was the situation, right? So it happened in the past. It's very hard to get used to being awake at night. Desculpa. It's not a problem for me because it's now a habit. It's a problem for me because it hasn't become a habit yet. So look, it's very hard to get used to being awake or night. And look, I finally used to being when I am finally used. It's not a problem for me because it's now a habit, like, I'm finally used to being on New York time. So in this case, hold on, it's this one. We know it's number 2. And it's a problem. It's very hard to get used to. It's difficult to be accustomed with that routine, right? So number 3. So this is exactly what we are going to talk about at our grammar point now. How do we use used to, be used to, and get used to? Okay? What is the difference between them? And let me move here. So look, number 1. We use used to or didn't used to, right? Because we can use in the present or talking about the past, plus infinitive to talk about past habits or repeated actions or situations. Used to doesn't exist in the present for present habits. I'm used to. Yes, it does. I'm used to. But then it's going to work. Yeah. Look, I want to show you this one. I think it's going to be better. É que eu tava no lugar errado, né, gente? É to be used to. So look, we use the structure used to something when we talk about something we did regularly in the past, but do not do it now. So he used to go to our school. She used to be overweight, but became a supermodel last year. Okay, so look, we are talking about something that happened in the past, a habit we had maybe when we were kids, when we were growing up. I used to play with my cousins all the time because we all lived at the same street. We used to play at my grandma's house. We used to play soccer in front of my house because there was a soccer field. Okay, so when we are talking about something that we did very regularly or irregularly in the past, okay, something that is a habit. With to be used to, now I am in the right explanation, is used to express that a situation is not new or strange, or is no longer new or strange. I used to be very shy when I was growing up. I'm used not to being shy now. Okay, I'm used not to being shy. I got used to that situation. I'm accustomed. So you have experienced it many times. Look, he's used to swimming every day. He does that activity every day. So it's a habit. It's not something new for him anymore. For example, you go and you've never seen the person before, and you go like, oh my gosh, he's been in the ocean for so long, right? He's been swimming for so long. And then the person goes like, oh, don't worry, he's used to swimming every day. Okay, so that's a habit he has. I'm used to getting up early. I have the habit. So don't worry. Mayara, I'm sorry I called you so early, but it's important. Oh, don't worry. I'm used to getting up early. Okay, it's something I do often. It's a habit. Okay, so different from the used to, which we relate to the past. To be used to is something we relate to now. Okay, something we got. It's not new or strange now. And then finally, we have get used to. Get used to, guys, and look, can be a noun, a pronoun, or gerund, okay? And why is it gerund? Because of to. Remember that every time we have a verb, we need to have the verb after the preposition with ing. Get used to is used to express that an action or situation becomes less strange or becomes more comfortable. Staff will have to get used to a new way of working, okay? This implies that something needs to change. Okay, that now you are not used to it, but you need to get used. Você precisa se acostumar, okay? In this case, it relates to something that needs to happen. It didn't happen yet. It didn't happen now. It didn't happen in the past. It needs to happen in a near future, in the future, okay? It's important. I could not get used to driving on the wrong side of the road. In this case, eu não consegui me acostumar. I couldn't do that. If we go back here, you're going to see that they brought the examples of to be used to and get used to with the gerund, right? But remember that this specifically is because of to, okay? So we always need to use it. We used to be used to talk about a new situation, something that it's familiar now. Here, now. Remember that used to is related to the past, right? And get used to is something that is becoming familiar, less strange. It's something that is or is not, né? Como a gente viu aqui no exemplo, becoming familiar. It wasn't in the past, it was now, it's something it's happening, okay? So look what I would like you to do, and we are going to check in class, at our Teams class. Here you have some mistakes, so you need to correct the highlighted mistakes. If the sentence is wrong, you need to correct the mistake. If it's right, you just say it's right. And here, let's see if I can move myself. Okay. Here you have to complete with use it to be used to, or to get used to. And then you need to say if it's negative or affirmative. Remember to pay attention, what does the sentence mean, okay? What is it implying? Is it something that happened when you were little? Or is it something happening now? Is it something that implies future, okay? You need to observe these aspects to complete the sentences. Perfect? Guys, I've posted this picture on Moodle, okay? So you can have access to it there as well without having to look through the video. Okay, guys? If you have any questions, please write them down and we can talk about it in class. Perfect? These specifically we are going to do in class. I just want to show it here. It's because we need to read so we can understand, okay? Here we are going to read and decide if the sentences are true or false, and you need to say in which part of the text it is. So if you please can read it in advance, that would be very nice. And then you also have to do the vocabulary quiz, okay? To find the words that are equivalent to these meanings. Perfect? Questions? If you do, please let me know and we are going to discuss them during class, okay? Guys, have a fantastic week. Enjoy, have fun, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.